You're looking for an edge in the fantasy football arena. Not sure which talking head to trust? Why not watch for yourself how today's heroes stack up in a head-to-head battle where the fans will decide their fate. Let's see what makes these elite gladiators so deadly, and maybe even find out if there's any chinks in their armor. We open our series with two of the most valuable assets in both real life and fantasy football. On one side of the battlefield, we have the superstar from Cincinnati, Jamar Chase. Standing roughly 6 feet tall with a 75-inch wingspan and weighing 201 pounds, Chase has prototypical, if unspectacular, measurements for an outside wide receiver. Size doesn't win him any battles, but it doesn't limit him either. His speed, on the other hand, is undeniable. A blazing 40 time of 4.34 puts Chase among the NFL's premier burners, although a relatively slower time for his 10-yard split shows a player who needs some time to reach top gear. Even more impressive than his speed, though, is the power in his lower body. Both his broad and vertical jump are elite among NFL wide receivers, which gives him a huge advantage when fighting for position at the point of the catch. Overall, Chase is an elite physical specimen. While his size may be nothing to write home about, he is able to physically dominate opponents anyway by using otherworldly athleticism, making his rise to the ranks of elite NFL wide receivers easy to see coming. On the other side of the battlefield, we have the reigning Offensive Player of the Year in Justin Jefferson, standing 6 feet 1 with a 78-inch wingspan and weighing in at 202 pounds. Jefferson is similar to Chase in that his size is neither an asset nor a liability. It doesn't win any battles, but it doesn't hurt him either. Unlike Chase, however, Jefferson doesn't have track star speed. While his 40 time and 20 and 20-yard splits are above average for a wide receiver, they fall well short of elite. Jefferson has the speed to enable his other playmaking abilities, but he won't outrun most cornerbacks in a straight line. As in the 40-yard dash, Jefferson puts up results in the broad vertical jumps that were above average but well short of elite. These numbers, like the 40 time and split, show us a player who has quality tools to work with but who won't win just by dominating opponents physically. Considering what we know about his NFL career, Jefferson's physical profile is surprisingly unremarkable. It tells us that his success comes from something other than innate physical gifts and warrants a look into what I like to call his weapons of choice. So if he isn't winning by physically dominating his opponents, how is Jefferson doing it? The first answer to that question is an unparalleled football IQ. Jefferson is known for spending a lot of time in the film room, and it pays dividends on Sundays. Extensive film study gives him the ability to recognize defensive formations and predict coverages, granting an edge over defenders before the play even starts. He is able to recognize soft spots in the coverage and make himself open very quickly, often turning a broken play into a big gain. He is a constant threat to shred any defense that makes a mental error. In other instances, his pre-snap recognition of the blitz allows him to get open for his quarterback before the pressure reaches them. A simple adjustment from Jefferson in these situations turns a loss into a first down. He does not rely solely on his brilliant football mind, however. Jefferson is able to leverage his physical abilities in several ways that make him a nightmare to defend, and it starts with his elusiveness. From the moment the ball is snapped, Jefferson navigates the field with ease, using an impressive and polished bag of tricks. Subtle head fakes and stutter steps at the top of his routes shake defenders and cause them to bite early, leaving him running wide open for easy completions. He makes opponents believe what he wants them to believe and leaves them grasping at air. His ability to evade defenders is an equally dangerous tool with the ball in his hands. He uses sudden jukes and cutbacks to rack up yards after the catch, turning short yardage plays into big gains. While these sort of moves frequently leave Jefferson wide open, the highlight reel grabs that most fans remember are the product of his freakish acrobatics. Occasionally, Jefferson is not all alone at the point of the catch or needs to reel in a pass that is off target. Luckily for his quarterback, he is without equal in terms of tracking the ball and positioning himself to come down with it. Along the sidelines or in the end zone, he has a supernatural awareness of the boundaries and exactly how to contort his body to stay within them. This instinct allows Jefferson to haul in toe-tapping receptions from seemingly impossible positions, something he does routinely. When his battle is with the defender, he makes constant adjustments to keep himself between them and the ball. He has instinctive timing for when to leap and attack the football at its highest point, denying anyone else the chance to come down with it. When you combine Jefferson's ability to read the play, deceive and shake off defenders, and contort his body to gain position, he becomes almost impossible to defend. The presence of an elite physical trait is not the strength of his game, but rather his all-around polish and technique. Shifting focus back to our other combatant, we have a player who wins matchups by leveraging his physical traits more often than Jefferson. Among other useful traits, Jamar Chase has absolutely game-breaking speed. Chase often utilizes world-class wheels in the simplest way possible. He absolutely dominates on go routes, blowing by defenders who know exactly what's coming and still can't stop it. Without double or triple coverage, there doesn't seem to be an answer. Other times, the offense will draw up plays that get him the ball in the open field with room to run. One missed tackle or bad angle is all that Chase needs to house it, and that threat alone can cause a defense to play scared. On top of all that, Chase's elite speed also enables him to track the ball on deep passes and get underneath it so that he can perform his famously impressive feats of acrobatics. Chase is an absolute master of acrobatic body control, and his midair twists and contortions are even more impressive when you consider how fast he is usually moving. He is effectively impossible to guard along the sidelines. When he doesn't just run by defenders, Chase outmuscles and outpositions them at the point of attack to ensure he can not only catch the ball, but get both of his feet in bounds. His powerful legs, elite vertical leap, and pre-natural timing give Chase the ability to win balls that only he can reach and only an elite quarterback can throw. Luckily for Chase, he plays with such a quarterback. Joe Burrow ensures that Chase receives more high-quality targets than most receivers because of league-best QB chemistry. With the history going back to a national championship-winning team at LSU, Jamar Chase and his quarterback Joe Burrow are arguably the best example of quarterback-wide receiver chemistry in the NFL. Burrow has blanketed Chase with targets since he entered the league. Chase has rewarded him with some of the most impressive production in rookie history. Burrow would throw the ball to Chase in double coverage in other situations that many QBs wouldn't consider, due to his faith in both his own talent and in the talent of Chase. He also knows that when he's facing pressure, he can throw the ball in Jamar's general direction and he'll probably come down with it. Chase physically imposes his will, and Burrow gets him the ball. It's a simple equation that has worked for the both of them since college, and one that looks primed to work for the next decade in the NFL. Unlike Chase, Jefferson isn't lucky enough to have a Pro Bowl best buddy throwing him passes for the foreseeable future. If a weak spot exists in Jefferson's game, it lies in his QB chemistry. To be fair, Cousins has helped Jefferson to some pretty impressive statistical seasons. But if you had to identify something that prevents Jefferson's game from reaching even another level, it would be that he isn't getting the ball as much as he earns it. Cousins doesn't have the field of vision or accuracy of the top-tier quarterbacks, so he will occasionally miss Jefferson when he is wide open, whether because he didn't see him or simply because he threw a bad pass. While Jefferson still puts up astronomical numbers, they're limited by a quarterback who can't take full advantage of the weapon at his disposal. One can only imagine what Jefferson would do if he were in a situation more like Chase. And it's possible we may see that eventually. But while Chase may have an advantage over Jefferson in the quarterback department, his game itself is less polished. A lifetime of being able to bend on his athleticism has resulted in less refined technique and raw routes. While a player of Chase's talent can get by without being a route technician, it limits the number of ways in which they can be used effectively. Having a smaller route tree means fewer opportunities to get involved in the offense and a limited ceiling for target volume, meaning less ultimate upside. Worthy combatants both. But in the end, only one can walk out of the arena victorious. Is it the man who sees the field on a different level, who doesn't need to beat a defender physically because he knows where they're not gonna be? Or is it the man who knows exactly where that defender is going to be and runs right past them or right through them anyway? Is it the man whose shiftiness shakes defenders so badly that he gives his quarterback a huge open window? Or is it the man who knows his quarterback can find him every time, no matter how small the open window? Become more than just a spectator in the Fantasy Coliseum by leaving your best comments, thumbs up or thumbs down, for your favorite heroes. The fate of today's gladiators lies in your hands for Season 2. Press subscribe now for more excitement and entertainment from Football Moxie.